Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Somebody Has to Say It. I am Michael Macknaik, your, well, secondary host. I'm the sidekick to Victoria Curace, who is here with me. Say hello, Victoria.
Hello, Victoria. I love the fact that you're already red in the face, which is just great for what we will be doing.
You know what that's from? It was so windy and nasty here today, but the sun was just beaming hot, and I guess I was, because all the wind was blowing on me. I didn't feel how hot it was, so I got a
Were
little
you just
sun.
talking and all the hot air kept just like burning your face?
Yeah, something like that, Victoria.
Ooh.
Anyway, folks, here's the problem that, as far as I see it,
Oh boy.
we all have opinions, but nobody wants to say these opinions out loud anymore. And that's just a product of the world that we've created or has been created for us by the powers that be. We're told that we need to be authentic as long as that authenticity doesn't piss anybody off. We're told to speak our truth as long as it sounds nice and it fits within the bubbles of what other people want us to be the truth. We're told to be ourselves, but ourselves has to fit into like a 30-second video with captions and background music, and in Victoria's case, dancing and pom-poms. It's gotten to be exhausting. Somewhere along the way, our normalcy, our common sense kind of just packed the bag and flew the coop, right? So that's what we want to talk about here. And we're not going to sit here and try to pretend that we have all the answers to things. We're just two people who are willing to say things that maybe other people aren't willing to say, or maybe they're thinking it and have said it. And maybe you'll agree with some of the things that we say, maybe you won't. Most of the time you'll agree with me, and not all the time you'll agree with Victoria.
Yeah, right. I cannot
But
wait.
but
Like a
part
kid
of
at Christmas.
the part you are like a kid at Christmas today. But part of the show is going to be about disagreement. And disagreement doesn't need to be treated like betrayal all the time, right? Very often we're giving strangers more grace than we give to ourselves. So some days we're going to drive each other crazy. Most days we're going to drive each other crazy. Some
Any day
days
in
I hope that
July.
I hope you're sitting there yelling at your
I
radio.
can.
What?
What?
Why do you keep interrupting?
Because this is an introduction, not the whole damn show.
Okay, young lady.
Come on, old fart. Let's
You
go.
and your AI captain wrote this introduction. I'm just
But I
trying.
didn't write a novel. It's not a trilogy. It's a summarization. Carry on.
All right. Well, this is what it, this is exactly what it is. All right. So here's what we got to talk about this week. I am. Oh, and by the way, everybody, welcome to the conversation. I've
Which has only
had
been one-sided so far. Go ahead. He's a lawyer, remember? Or he
I've
claims.
had it. I've had it with the vernacular. I've had it with the new lexicon and all these new sayings that are out there. And I've had it with the overuse of certain words and terms. Gee, Mike, that's really interesting. What words and terms might you have be sick
When have
of?
you ever made a statement that I've ever known you that was that short? So I didn't want to interrupt because
Oh my God.
you've never had a sentence that short ever. Number one. And number two, before we begin, we need to have a prerequisite that at the end of this, we're still good friends, we're still partners. You don't go around and feel horrible when you walk off with your head between your legs, because that's what's going to happen. And all is good.
My head between my legs? You mean my
Yep,
tail between my legs?
both.
Oh. All right. So we got to talk about some words that I've
You
heard
didn't
too
agree.
much lately. You ready?
Yeah, but you didn't agree yet.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
Okay, good. Carry
Um,
on.
okay.
Your
So
little
so here's the
vernacular.
first one. Literally. I literally hate the overuse of the word literally.
Okay.
I cannot stand when you have and we make fun of, we call her Becca. Becca is the 22-year-old college grad who says literally all the time to her friends. They literally don't have any literal idea what literally means.
Or like,
Like literally that. that one we were down in Newport one day, and I in some kind of a shop, we were looking for something for a wedding we had to go to, and in comes a whole gaggle of Beccas, these, the 22-year-old Becca from college. It was just so much material. I can't even tell you. I was just laughing the whole time there. Becca, that literally is going to look perfect on you when you go to Turkey. So, anyway, so guys, if you don't know what literally means, literally stop using it. Please, 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 please do me a favor and stop using it. Okay, here's another one. Did you like that one so far?
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Okay, how about this one? Also, too.
I don't understand that one because it just doesn't make sense. It's
I know,
not
but
like
people
proper
say it
English.
all the time. It makes me nuts.
Your daughter says it, doesn't she? It's
No,
done. A lot of the younger generation says it.
no, my daughter doesn't say. No, you know who says it all the time is my friend Angela. You met Angela.
Yeah,
That's an Angelism right there. She loves saying
Angelism.
also too. Guys, also and TOO mean the same
It's a
effing thing.
synonym.
Oh, look at you busting out a cinnamon M.
Synonyms.
Yes. All right, so you agree with me on that one
I
too?
do. This is
Well,
getting
how about the one
boring.
that my daughter just texted me? What did she say? It's more better.
It's more better.
Oh God.
Well, the apple didn't fall far from the tree.
No, so I wrote back to her, I said, who taught you how to talk?
How you talk. You got to talk right. You have to
Who
have
taught you
coffee
how
and
to
talk, have
who learned
conversation.
you how to talk?
Literally, you
Literally.
too.
All right, so here's another one, right? This one's become so prevalent, and I don't know where the hell it came from. You ready for it?
Ready.
Have a great rest of your day.
That's like a
Have a,
booby sound. Isn't that like that's what the boobies say?
have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. What the
Boobies
hell
say that.
what kind of freaking grammar is that?
Old grandma, old Jewish women say it.
The oh, the
They do.
what
They
is it?
say old boobies. They're old boobies. That's what old Jewish women say.
Babushkas? No, that's
That's a
Russian.
babushka is not. That's Greek. And
Babushkas,
boobies
that's a
are old
woman.
Jewish women.
No.
My baby.
Oh God, there's another word for the grandmother because I watched a show and the guy referred to his grandmother, the Yiddish word. That's what. Anyway, have a great rest of your day is completely grammatically incorrect. I can't stand it.
So what would you say instead?
Have a great day.
Okay. I've never heard the
Enjoy the rest of your day.
okay.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Literally, have a great day.
Literally. Remember George Carlin said, I think it was George Carlin's like, fuck you. What if I don't want to have a nice day for the rest? Enjoy, have a great rest of your week. Ugh. All right, another one. I heard this really, really successful businessman recently on a podcast, and I was really engaged with him, and he was really, really pushing a lot of the right buttons for me in terms of what he had to say about
You were
some really.
listening to A Contagious Smile Unstoppable with me and my husband?
Yeah, Mike. It was Solomon who said this.
Yeah,
Because he was just getting so deep and insightful into so many meaningful things, and as he will do.
right.
But what he came out with in that particular episode was, as a for instance. No, I hate that. As a for instance. How about as an example or for instance? What the hell's as a for instance?
It's not one that I hear a lot, so
I guess it just bothered me that this really sophisticated guy said it so much in this one particular podcast that it made me angry.
you have like easy anger things.
I know, but I get over them quick too. Like I'm quick to be like, oh, and then I kind of just kind of goes away.
Okay.
All right, here's my last one. Well, it's not my last one, but it's the last one of things that I think are somewhat funny. When the hell what year did Crocodile Dundee come out? The first one, the very first crocodile movie. Paul Hogan was Croc. Were you even born then?
Yes, I was born then
Okay, so I'm telling you, it had to be when I was about 12 years old. So
in
let's
the
say it
80s.
was like 1982, 83, somewhere in there. Does that
Sure.
sound right? All right, let's go with that. No worries, right? No
No
worries,
worries,
mate.
mate. No
It's
worries,
an
mate.
Australian thing. I hate when people tell me no worries. I go to
That's
freaking
a big
coffee
knife,
shop. Huh?
right? That's a big knife. That's not
Yeah,
a
that's
knife. That's
exactly.
a big knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
That's a big knife, right?
No worries, mate. It was funny when Paul Hogan said it. It's great when an Aussie says it or a Kiwi says it, but
It's a
we're
cultural thing of, their
it's not a
country.
saying. It makes me freaking nuts.
This
No
you
worries.
guys, use guys, does that drive you nuts? Use
No, you
guys?
know what? Well, yeah, but that's a New England, New York thing in
Okay.
Boston. I'll tell you another one, another Angelism
Another
that that you said that. She's always saying yours guys's.
yours,
And we laugh every
yours
time she said
guys.
yours guys's. I was listening to yours guys's podcast and no, Angela, it's not yours guys's. No. We could get Angela on just to have a discussion with her so she could use a lot of these, right? All right. So here's the thing that I think we really need to address in make it meaningful for the purpose of the work that we're both engaged in. I think that we've gotten way too
Oh,
relaxed.
here it comes.
No, I think we've gotten way too relaxed in the way that we talk about certain things in our culture these days, and I think it's very scary, and I don't like it. And I'll give you some examples. Well, the first one that I'm going to use is this is Victoria all day long. Everybody does everything all the time.
I've never said that.
You speak in absolutes so often.
Okay, but I've never said that sentence.
No, nobody. Of course, that sentence is me giving an example of what people who speak in absolutes do.
Okay.
Everybody does everything all the time, or nobody does anything ever, right? If I get you fired up talking about a shitty medical experience, a shitty doctor, a shitty nurse, shitty insurance, right? Anything to do with the hospital and your advocacy work, oh my God. It is so funny to watch you just go down that for you are like the runaway freaking train going off on God damn, every single doctor does this and that and the other. And I just sit back shaking my head. And you're laughing because you know it's true. They all do it. They all do this to you. I can't stand any of them. I hate them.
But I make them cookies before surgery and then they botch me. Yeah,
Oh,
I
because
do.
they're all a bunch of quacks.
They do. I do. And I think every single one of them before all my operations too. I always do.
Well, maybe your cookies suck. And that
Everybody loves my cookies.
see, that's an absolute. That's you just said everybody loves my.
I've never had somebody, I've had people ask me, hey, can you make these for my kid's birthday?
You know what I still haven't ever got?
Are we keeping this PG?
I I still haven't gotten any cookies. Where's the cookies?
Stay in one geographic location long enough. But I do remember sending you a care package when you were ragging and you couldn't even go outside to get some Midol. I sent you crackers so you didn't get, oh, a little nauseous. I sent you some
When I was
Motrin.
bragging or ragging?
Ragging when you were,
Oh,
needing some Midol and your back was hurting.
are we seriously going to use that kind of language here? I'm sorry to all the women listening
They understand.
who
They're like,
Victoria just
what? She
offended.
sent you some crackers and Motrin? That's a sister
Did
right there.
because I was big baby Huey and my back was hurting me, and Victoria sent me that day a
Same
package,
day,
same day,
a care
package
package.
of what's it called? Motrin
Motrin and crackers so you didn't get
and crackers
nauseous and
and that
I
vapor
feel
rub.
better.
Yeah, she did that, guys. She did that. She's not a complete bitch.
No, I take a bit when someone calls me a bitch, I take it as an absolute compliment. Thanks,
Hmm.
Becca. I do.
All right. So anyway, I the absolutisms I can't stand. But seriously, I think that we've gotten you and I talked about we had a guest on a podcast on our This Is What It Takes podcast. The guy was awesome, and he was talking about I guess what you would call narcissistic personality disorder, and he was an abused gentleman
Yes.
who overcame the abuse of a narcissist.
Daniel Ryan Coulter.
and you guys should check that episode out. He's really interesting, and it was a great interview, and he really won me over. But anyway, the point being that, guys, we got to be really careful about how we label people these days. I mean, everybody's a narcissist. Everybody's a narcissist now. Did you notice that?
You did say that we're still going to be cool at the end of this, right?
Yeah,
Time to take your ass to the cleaners. Come on. Come
I'm
on.
waiting. Don't
All
you
right.
think? Don't you
So
think that?
you think people throw around the term narcissist too easily, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, when people back in the 1900s were titled as idiot, moron, imbecile, those were actual medical terminologies that were based upon the DSM-5 that was judged upon an IQ following, correct? So now people automatically say idiot, imbecile, things of that nature. Are we talking about them? It's like when you make the comment and you've made them on other podcasts, I could strangle them. Well, you're using that as a metaphor, but you're using that terminology, but you're not advocating for homicide. You're not advocating to go out there and strangle somebody. You're using a term.
Oh, it depends.
Well, and the thing is, like when you say pull them up by their bootstraps or knock them around or beat them around, our audience, a lot of them are survivors of domestic violence. You don't mean it in the violent way. However, it is a terminology of vocabulary that resonates with others in different ways. So people who may not have attended law school go and hear the term narcissist, and for the first time, they feel almost like a reprieve in the fact that they now have a title to put on the hell to which they've been privy to in a way where they now can say, yes, this is what I've been dealing with, and now I have something I can call it. Why are you writing notes? So you can reflect?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll slow down if you need me to. So at the end of the day, you have people who were like, I had never knew this before, but why is it that their vocabulary should be holstered? But when you make comments like, they're an idiot or they're an imbecile or I want to strangle them or something like that, that it's not okay because you're using it, the term loosely, but you're not advocating for homicidal ideation. You're just making a comment in passing.
Okay. Somewhat fair, but not really, because the people that I'm talking about aren't using the term narcissist in passing. People are using the term narcissist like they know what a narcissist is. And to label everybody, this is I know we've discussed this, to label everybody as, for instance, every time there's a gun shooting, well, they must be mentally ill. That guy's mentally ill, So we automatically instantly assume that somebody's mentally ill. And that was going to be the next one on my list, is we use mentally ill way too much. I'm saying that we use the term narcissist to describe anybody who has any kind of ego or is exhibiting any kind of selfishness these days. And that is not what a narcissist is.
What is a narcissist?
You would know better than me what the true definition is, but when we had that interview, I thought he was wonderful. I think to me, a narcissist is more somebody who has absolutely no
Empathy?
empathy for other people on any level, and has proven so it's a clinical term. It's not just this guy's an asshole, so he has to be a narcissist. Not every narcissist is an asshole, and not every asshole is a narcissist. Well, maybe every narcissist is an asshole, but not every asshole is a narcissist. And
Right.
I think we've gotten too far down that rabbit hole, is what I'm saying.
Well, then we have people like, you've heard Dr. Laura, right?
Well, not if I could help it, but
Okay, but Dr. Laura is a licensed doctor, psychiatrist,
yeah.
psychologist, whatever. I've actually called on the show. And what is ironic is you're live. I called on there because she stated that there are no real narcissists in this world, that it is a name that isn't real. There is nothing called a narcissist. There's nothing even close to it. And so when I called on there, it's live, but there's a delay. So when I said to her, how can you say that there's no such thing as a narcissist? She hung up on me before I could even, wouldn't even air it because how does this woman say that? I mean, if you ever listen to her, everything she says, she's a narcissist.
Well,
Everything she says is.
I told you the story about the time I was making the joke about me having narcissistic personality disorder like 10 years ago?
Are you
Remember
sure I'm the one you told this to?
Yeah, I told it to you on our podcast. I was doing a speech honoring a psychiatrist I know who was retiring, and I was making a joke about how I was going to make it all about me. My speech about him, I was going to make about me,
Right,
which I said, is typical me being a narcissist, right?
right,
Joke, blah blah blah. That was like 10 or 15 years ago, and seriously, I had to look it up. Nobody
literally.
had ever just nobody was using the term narcissist. Now, every freaking person who's an asshole is a narcissist. And I just don't think it's accurate. And by the way, you mentioned the DSM-5. Before the DSM-5, there was a 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Correct.
So back in the 1800s, they didn't have the DSM-5, 4, 3, 2,
No,
or
but
1.
they actually had titles for people when they took their IQ, and people use those terms so literal now. They use
Imbecile
them
was
year round.
one. Idiot was one.
Moron,
I don't know about moron.
moron was used.
If you look at some of the names of all the old asylums, lunatic, they were called lunatic asylums. But you're right. I mean, so yes, I mean we don't use the term retarded anymore, even
Right.
though
That's very offensive to people.
to some people it's very offensive. But
Right,
if you are clipping a plant, there's other words for it. But if you want to retard the growth of something, retard is actually a term that means something. And if used in a sentence, it could also be highly offensive, obviously.
right.
But to your point, over time, these words become offensive. Lunatic, imbecile, nut house. I don't know, just whatever, one flew over the cuckoo's next, right? Nest.
Nest.
So next, yeah, one flew over the cuckoo's next.
Dude.
Now you threw me off, and I can't think any of my. I mean, I do think that we throw narcissist around too much. I think we use terms like mentally ill too much. And
I think you use special needs in the wrong way.
I use special needs in the wrong way.
No, I think people in general, like, you have kids come on and they're like, oh, that's one of the special needs kids. Or, they don't
Mm.
have the plague. They don't have all these other things, and people just look at them and they're like, they're one of those kids. And it's like, you don't put a dunce cap on them. They're very intelligent children.
Sometimes. Well, and here's like I remember my grandfather. I was sitting out in the back. He was having his cocktail. I was a little kid, and he was saying, "That guy, that so and so, is a little touched in the head." And I was like, "What does that mean, Pop?" 'Cause we called him Pop. He's not quite right. He's a little touched. And he's pointing at his head. And yeah, I was 4, so this is like 1974, 75. He's saying this to me, but and he was from that generation. Obviously, he was my grandfather, so he was what 50-ish at that point. So he was an older dude, and saying touched in the head was not offensive. Right now, it obviously would be something that would be offensive. Anyway, I just think that narcissist is something that we use too much. And you and I were talking about others, and now not none are coming to mind. But what I do know, so that's like on a clinical sort of PC level, but on a social PC level, you ever notice? And this just happened. I don't remember where I was, but somebody mentioned, it, it was a bunch of people in a house, and the shoes were left on the floor, or the cabinets were left open, or something. And some people just leave the cabinets open all the time, right? Like you passively aggressive say, "Oh, some people have to leave their shoes in the middle of the floor." You know fully well who those some people are.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
No,
so
I
just
got I got the perfect one. I'm at the grocery store. I'm probably 6 months post amputation, and I'm in line. I'm unloading the cart onto the belt. The person in front of me is still checking out, and this is why we have issues with our youth. The mom is standing there, and she goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe you get behind the one person that's going to take forever to unload her cart." And I'm unloading, and I just kind of stop and I look at her, and to this day, if I'm in line and there's an older person and they're in the push cart or an older person, I ask them, can I help you unload your groceries? Even though I'm one-handed, I still ask. So she's looking at me and she was like, could you move any faster? And I'm literally like, you've got to be kidding me. So I said, ma'am, she's not even done with her purchase yet. She's like, oh my God, we're going to be here forever. And then she's like, look at her. Like she's missing a body part and like it's all. And I'm like, 5, 4. I'm counting backwards. I'm like, okay, strike three.
seriously,
Don't
this
don't
lady was
touch.
saying this about you because you had
Yes.
one hand.
And her son is standing there and her son's not doing anything and he's standing there, and thank God Faith wasn't there because Faith will let him have it. Like Faith has no filter. She told one lady that they needed a hug and it wasn't going to be from her, and her cart was full, and Faith was like, is that your snack? And I mean, the woman was like, yeah. So Faith has no no filter. I don't know where she gets it from. So the lady like is looking at me, and she's like, could you please? And I said, again, they're not done yet. So
Who's they you're talking about?
the lady in front of me is still unloading her groceries and hasn't checked out all the way. So I can't
She
unload my
doesn't.
whole cart yet. And
Well,
so
okay. All right. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this grocery store line thing. And
yeah,
if this is you, please tell me this isn't you. When you go to the grocery store, do you pay by check when you go to the grocery store?
no, I do not.
Okay, good. How about when you go to the grocery store and somebody's standing there and they got all this crap coming out of their cart
Or they want to do separate orders.
and they're going to unload the cart, right? We're unloading the cart. The poor pimply faced kid is scanning everything through. Then they bag everything up, right? And after all that's said and done, they give the lady her total. That's $167. And then she's going to make a comment about the $167, half jokingly, not. And then, and only then, will the woman go into her purse to find her freaking wallet
Ah,
and or checkbook to begin the process of payment.
check.
Oh my God, does that make you nuts?
Yes, but I don't do that. Like everything's out on the card and I've already entered my number and I have my card in hand before we even get anywhere in that process.
No, I think that's the one good thing about all these people using plastic now is that at least that's a quick fix. But man, there is nothing worse than watching the lady not being prepared to dig and find, and they got this purse that's like the size of a freaking, like a suitcase, and they can't
Yeah,
find. It's just, and why do they do that?
because
It's
they're
just
unhappy people. They're narcissists, literally.
no, they're not thinking about that. And see,
No,
did you
I was just being,
literally use part narcissist and literally
no,
in this?
I was being funny. But no, so when this goes, I turned and she saw my hearing aid in my ear and she was like, wow, she's really all messed up. And I was like, that's it. That's it. And I just looked at her and I was like, so if you have a question as to why I have these lovely things, why don't you just ask? Because it's really easy just to
Why would
ask.
this lady be doing this, saying this shit about you? Like
She was rude.
you have
Maybe,
a hearing aid in one hand and she's calling you out on it right there.
yeah. And she's like, she's got only one hand. She's amputated her. Look at all the scars. And then turn around and she's got a hearing aid. And she's like, this girl's a mess. And so I was like, that's it. That was strike four. I'm done. So it's like, if you have questions, I'm happy to answer by any stretch of the imagination. If you have anything you want to say, just ask. My husband brought me coffee. Isn't that nice?
He's a hell of a guy.
He's a hell of a guy. You should take some lessons from him.
Is there whipped cream on your coffee?
It is. It's good
Ugh,
stuff.
Jesus.
Anyway, so while this is going on, I look over and I was like, if you have something to say, just ask me. And she was like, and I was like, so let me just volunteer. I survived domestic violence and it was all while I was pregnant. And I was like, I'm sure with your wonderful, cheery disposition, you're single.
No.
And
Yeah.
she just looked at me and she was like, F you. And I was like, hey, I'm sure by now he's on wife number 11. If you want me to introduce the two of you, have at it.
He's beat up wife number 11.
Well, he killed one of them.
Mm.
He did. He killed his first wife.
He killed his first wife?
Killed his first wife and got away with it.
Did I tell you that your high-pitched shrill voice came through my speakers on my phone today yesterday when I was listening to some other podcast and the episode was over. The next episode rolls out was you. And you were talking about yeah. So first of all, that was a nightmare. Second of all, you started talking about this guy killing your puppy.
Yeah. He shot and killed my puppy to show what he would do if I tried to leave him.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, folks.
You would know this if you read Who Kicked First.
Yeah, I did not. You won't let me read Who Kicked First.
That's true. And when did you start listening?
I didn't. I was listening to something else and it,
No, I'm talking about and not when I said you're not allowed to read it, and then you're like, well, you won't let me read it. And when did you start actually paying attention?
paying attention to you? I don't know.
I mean, I actually read your books. They were great for the constipation after surgery. It was fantastic.
Yeah, that's nice. It's nice to know that one person read something I wrote.
That I was the one person who gave you a review.
Yeah, good. Very nice. Very nice. Well, so I know we started out a little jokey and talking about Becca and literally and have a great rest of your day and all that stuff. But I do think that we need to be very careful about the language that we use around, and I'll tell you where some people or you people, I know a woman who made a comment and it was completely innocent. She was talking about you people, meaning the staff in
Yeah.
this office, but she said it to a woman, a black woman, and the black woman instantly took that as, are you saying you people meaning me as a black woman? Are you saying you people as me as a single mother? Are you saying you people as me?
Or
And so it was not a good scene. And it was completely, it was completely innocent, but you could see where something like that would really be a bad trigger. So again, to sometimes to just come across and say somebody's, oh, they must be mentally ill. You must be mentally ill. Or, and one of the things that really, really drives me crazy in terms of the advocacy work that I do for folks with mental illness is every time there's a mass shooting, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to find the craziest photo of the shooter that, make him look completely insane. And they'll throw that up there, and that'll be the go-to image that's burned into everybody's brain where they look like the Joker from Batman, completely off their rocker. And so that's one thing they'll do. And then next thing they'll do is they'll just instantly go into just saying this guy's mentally ill. In most cases, that is just not correct. And in most cases, it's an insult to people with mental illness. And I just want people to be sure that they are careful about those words that they're using.
right. So what do you think about people who okay, because your daughter is of this primitive age. How would you feel if
Primitive?
well, yes. How would you feel if you were at the mall with your daughter and she goes into the bathroom and a trans man turning woman says, I identify as a woman and goes into the bathroom right behind your daughter?
How would I feel? I think you've asked me this before, and I am kind of well, I think the whole trans concept is number one that we have not even begun to touch the surface of and understand. That's number one. And I will answer your question. And number two, I mean, the transgender population makes up something like 0.0004% of the population, right, in our particular country, which is basically nothing. And we've made this into a major, again, part of our lexicon. It's part of our discussions now. And that's on us. That's on us. It's on the media. It's on politics. It's on everything. This partisanship. This I have to be mad at you for something. We have to argue. That's why we're having this podcast, right? Somebody has to say it.
Right.
So I honestly don't. It does not really make me too upset to think that way. To think about that
What
for
about the
number.
fact that they are now saying that pedophiles, because I will not call them what they want to be called now, are using that as a leeway to go into the bathroom because they can't be stopped if they say, well, I identify as, and then they go in there
Well, but is it true that they can't be stopped? Where are you hearing that?
all over the news. But I got to go and
What news?
yeah, I know. Probably. But I got to look. There is a school district in New York that allows kids to come to school and change into their identity without telling their parents and allows them to say they're Tommy, they can come to school and turn into Tammy and then put on a dress and wigs and all that, and they don't tell the parents. How do they do that? I mean,
I
parents
don't, I
have
don't think
parental rights.
I don't think that's cool. I don't think that's cool. I don't think it's not against the law, but I don't think it's cool. I
I
don't
mean,
think it's
how
right.
can you be okay with that? I mean, you're withholding very, very important information from the parents.
Well, and you're frankly, I don't know. This is opening a really dangerous Pandora's box for us here, going down to what's legal, what's not legal, what you know, what rises to the level of reporting requirements and what doesn't and that kind of thing. But for that, I mean, that's tantamount to, frankly, I have a problem with recruiters, and my son is in the Air Force, and I love the military. I have no, you know, my son's entire family on his mom's side were all in the military. I have military in my family, so thank you all for your service. But when you have recruiters going into high schools,
Hmm.
right, and they're talking to kids that are under the age of 18, unbeknownst to their parents, I have a problem. I have a problem with that. So of course I have a problem with these people going into schools and and or these schools, I mean, not, allowing something to go on behind their parents' back. It's just not, it's not right. And especially as you said, I mean, they're not 18 yet. You need the parents' permission as a guardian to have certain.
I'm so glad you said that. What about the schools that say it's okay for us to paddle your kid?
No, it's not.
I'm here to tell you that okay, let's take a situation where a teacher paddles the child. Okay.
Are you
Like
talking private school or are you talking about public schools?
public. Like, I don't care what school it is, but you have no right to put your hands on my child. Number one, you're going to see the red half Yankee woman in me come out if you put your hands on my child. Number one
Mhm.
through 10. Number two, if my child had a bruise on them, you're going to open up an investigation and want to know how they got that. But you're a stranger outside of the teaching element, and you're going to turn around and be able to hit my kid? I don't think so. You come near my kid with a paddle and I'm gonna paddle you. Like, that's all I gotta say. You're not touching my child, period. And I don't see how they think that's okay. It's
I'm
absolutely not okay.
absolutely not okay. I've never even knew that that was a thing other than some of the, you hear the stories about the old stories about the nuns in the Catholic schools whacking the students on the hands with the measuring stick or whatever it was.
Yeah, but you see all the time now. There was a teacher in Georgia who got arrested for having over 200 illegal images of the children on the school on his computer. And
Well, that's different than paddling them.
no, but I'm saying these are things, and we're having them as the counselor at a school. Then you have teachers that paddle a child, and the child comes home. And what if they're get in a bad environment at home? The child doesn't have a safe space. They have
Mm.
nowhere that they feel safe that they can go to, and that is absolutely not okay. Nobody should paddle a kid. Period.
No, I don't. No, there's no need for any kind of corporal punishment whatsoever,
Did
especially
you ever
not.
spank your children?
I have not. No,
I haven't either.
I have not. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not. I just never felt right about it. I don't know. I mean, I got whacked a couple times when I was a kid,
That
but
explains a lot.
yeah, but I mean, I deserved it.
Yeah, but
But it's
like, you turn around and uh, and Faith again with her smart mouth. Somebody once said to her, "Have you ever been spanked?" And she's like, "No, and I'm an Emmy winner. So what do you want?" I'm like, "What does she got? Drop?" You know?
yeah,
Because it's all about how you talk to somebody. You can talk to them with love and respect and not have to put your hands on them in an unwarranted manner. You know?
yeah, of course. Well, yeah, certainly, and especially not in a school system, in a school setting. I listen. I mean, my dad, my brother, his wife, my aunt.
Dance.
I have a whole family of educators. So, you get into talking about the trials and tribulations that educators go through these days just to try to help to educate kids. And by the way, I also do educational law. So, I see what these folks are struggling with just to try to educate the kids day to day. Then you throw some very difficult, say, difficult parents into the mix. That makes it even their job even harder. Ellie's mom is a teacher in a very wealthy school district, and the parents basically run the school district because the administration's too afraid to rock the boat or to do anything that the parents don't want done. So it's the inmates running the asylum kind of a thing. Mike, no, you can't do this to my child. No, you can't do that to my child. Oh, or how about the cell phones? Right? Oh no, I have to be able to get in touch with my child during the day. They have to have their cell phone on them at all times. Bullshit.
Allowing kids, they don't teach. They don't teach spelling anymore. They're not teaching writing anymore. Everything is done on their tablet,
Penmanship.
right? So, they don't even know what the Dewey Decimal System is. When you're learning how to spell something, it's Alexa or SIRI.
Do
It's
they
not,
still do they still use a Dewey Decimal System?
yes, you're in
Yeah,
a library right now.
I am in a library right now. I'm gonna go out and see. I'm gonna go ask if this is a do.
They do
I have a
have Dewey
friend who
Decimal.
is actually going to college for library sciences. And I said, "So you're going to study the Dewey Decimal System and shit?" She's like, "Yeah, actually." So I'm going to find out what that is. I'm going to go see if they know what the Dewey Decimal System is.
Good. But that's the
And
thing.
I'll tell you what, they tried to make me understand the Dewey Decimal System when I was in like fifth grade. I don't know. I still like that's like when we were told that we had to learn that and we had to learn metrics because,
Periodic table.
oh God, no. Forget that. I
How'd you
can't.
pass the bar?
The bar has nothing to do with the periodic table of elements, the Dewey Decimal System, or any.
Well, I understand that, but I'm just saying, okay, so let me go back. When I was in school, because you went by horse and buggy, when I was in school,
Yes, clearly.
we did dodgeball and, the
Yeah.
monkey guards and the swing and all this. And now they don't even do PE that much at all anymore in school. They're all worried about, oh, if you hit my kid, we're going to sue you, whatever. We never worried about school shootings when we were in school. I mean, we never even thought about it. It was not even a thought. I mean, where do you think that the premise of the whole school shooting thing came in from?
Where do I think the premise of it came in
Yeah,
from?
why is it that when we were in school, there was no worries, there was no school shootings, no nothing, and then all of a sudden we have Columbine, we have,
Well, I think,
all of
well,
these
all
other
right.
events.
I think, well, Columbine was the real first one, if you
Yes.
recall. That's on our collective radar. That was the first one that I can really recall. I think that and I don't know this for certain. I have done a study of the school shootings from Columbine on for a paper that I was going to publish. So I can't really speak to what happened before that. But I have to say that the and this is going to be like the grumpy old man, right?
I love that movie. Don't ruin it.
The influx of media and exposure, the influx of social media and exposure there, what we're able to see on TV now that we were never able to see, in what kids are able to watch or not watch on
Video
TV.
games?
I said that video game. Yeah, I think video games
You
are.
didn't say video games. You
I
said
think.
TV, you said social media, you did not say video.
Well, then I was going to say you're right. I saw. I'm remiss if I did not say video games. I think again, not to be the grumpy old man, but I think that there's certainly something to that. But I would also say that the two guys that did the Columbine shooting, wherever they got their quote unquote inspiration from, is they may now be the role models
Mhm.
for all these students who are following suit.
Right.
But one thing that does make me nuts is when here okay, so going back to the theme of this show when we started, these kids today, or things are just so much different today, or this world today is so not safe. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Go do the research. This world is way safer now than it was, and this is research. This is and I, you know what? I'm going to pull it up, and we can actually
And the Dewey Decimal System.
we'll pull that up. We'll categorize it according to the Dewey Decimal System. I'll pull up some of the research I've done on this because I was going to write a paper on this because it makes me that crazy to try to have that argument that no, the world is a safer place now. And people will say, well, there's so much against everything I just said. All this violence in media, all this violence on TV, all this violence in video games. But all of this exposure and all this connection, all this communication allows for more eyes and ears on our kids to protect our kids. It also exposes us and shows us more of the bad things that are going on in the world. And thus we think, of course, we're thinking that there's much more going on in the world because it's in our face all the time.
Right.
So this is a long way to say to you, before Columbine, I don't know, maybe there were other shootings. Maybe that was going on. Maybe that was something. I don't think it was.
No, because we never heard about any of it.
Well, but you know what? We also don't, you know what? Also, too, we don't hear about. Also, too, as a for instance, we don't hear about
Thoroughly.
we literally don't hear about how many school shootings there are, and it's not just school shootings. Let's just say mass shootings.
Okay.
If you were to type into your favorite AI person over there that you have,
That's
which
your girlfriend.
Gemini is mine, but you'd be startled by the number of
Daily.
shootings that have happened that we don't even hear about.
Right.
Or how about the ones that we do hear about that somehow just get swept under the rug? Remember that guy that shot all those people in that Las Vegas concert and he had like an arsenal in his hotel room? Whatever happened to that guy?
Right.
I mean, I know.
We have metal detectors at hospitals now. To go into a hospital, you now go through a metal detector. I mean, I don't have to because I have like 15 cards. It says pick a card. I'm all metal. I can't go through it, which is great.
Well, that's because you are the Tin Man.
I'm the bionic woman. I'm the bionic woman.
Oh no, we're gonna solve all the problems of the world in this little 45-minute
I know, isn't it good?
podcast of ours.
It's great.
Anyway, I I I wanted to be lighthearted and talk about about some of the things that just make me crazy as a grumpy old man. See, there I go using crazy. That's not nice to say crazy.
I was gonna say it when you finished.
You know? Jeez, why do I got to do that? What's the matter with me?
You're a man.
Damn it. And I'm always going to say stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it makes me crazy when people say certain things. But it, but in truth, I really wish we could be more careful about some of the things that we do say now as part of the lexicon, and be careful about what the real meaning behind them is. And your point is correct. You know that
So
many of the
glad I got that
terms
recorded.
many of the terms that we use day to day are terms like crazy, are terms that at one point or another had a legit, whether you want to call it scientific, medical, or otherwise, meaning and foundation and history behind the word and where it came from.
Right.
And then over time it becomes in inappropriate or non-PC. And
Right.
you know something? I don't have a problem with things becoming non-PC. That's what the world is all about. But I also think that, man, who's making up the PC rules?
Right.
Because it's just too much. It's just too much. So anyway, Victoria, I got to go back out into the windstorm here, although it's supposed to be dying down about now. And maybe I'll get more sunburn. Oh my God. I do
Looking
look
a little red there, Mr.
I
Clinton.
do look like a tomato today. I look like a tomato can over here.
You look like a tomato with sauce, tomato sauce,
I mean, this was, yeah.
tomato sauce. I'm not going to be tomato anymore pretty soon, just so you know ahead of time.
Wait, you're getting rid of your all natural red hair?
Hold on a minute, Yutz.
No.
Tell you, you see my daughter, she's natural red. And I'm serious. When you have so many surgeries, the anesthetic drank my color. So dyed it back my natural color to stay in line with my daughter. And now now it's getting dark and all the red has come out. And I'm tired of dyeing it. So I'm gonna do a breakthrough in my body dysphoria.
You're gonna go with the gray?
I don't have any gray except when I speak to you.
Yeah, I love the gray, silver looking women. Like Emmylou Harris, I think is just like the hottest woman ever. With
Who?
her Emmylou Harris, you like
I
your
don't know who
country
that
music.
is.
You don't know who Emmylou Harris is?
No, who's
Well, go
Emmy?
look at a picture of her. She's been silver white hair for decades. She's
You have
beautiful.
a weird taste in attractive women. Like the people you think are attractive are weird.
Okay, go look at Emmylou Harris and tell me you don't think she's attractive. I
Oh,
bet
sure
you
if I know.
Solomon thinks she's attractive.
No, my husband, I guarantee you, my husband will not think she's attractive. I
All right.
guarantee it.
Anyway, everybody, while she does that, I'm going to say goodbye.
Hold on. What? She looks like a great grandmother.
She's older now. Yes, she is, but she was a very good looking lady. She's a good looking lady, dude.
Okay, she's like 85.
She's a good
I
looking
forgot
woman.
you're a grandpa. Give
I
me
don't know.
another person that you think.
I can't think of one now.
You have weird taste in women.
Yeah, that's obviously played itself out well for me.
Hey, you're the one who likes to play with the hard drive with Gemini, not me. That's not, that's girlfriend.
All right, say goodbye, Victoria.
Goodbye.